Regarding Big Flaps Lobs, we were previously discussing Luka Doncic, who packed on 33 pounds. Once viewed as the NBA's future star, Doncic now stands at a pivotal junction, and the outlook isn't favorable. Following the February 2025 trade, his professional journey has been precarious. Rumor has it his physical fitness played a significant role. This issue has persisted over the years, but it may now jeopardize his entire career. The same supporters who once celebrated his brilliance are now criticizing him on social media. The management is displeased, and if the situation doesn't improve rapidly, Luka could become yet another tale of missed potential in NBA lore. In this video, we'll analyze the details, examine the speculation, and explore how this all contributes to the possible downfall of one of the league's most luminous talents. The ascent of a phenom. Luka Doncic's narrative goes beyond typical basketball stories. He was born on February 28, 1999, in Ljubljana, Slovenia, to Sasa Doncic, a former pro basketball player, and Mirjam Podobin. Doncic's rise to basketball stardom seemed almost fated. His foray into the sport started exceptionally young. At merely 8, he became a part of the youth ranks at Olimpia, a leading Slovene club, where his remarkable skills swiftly stood out. What distinguished young Luka from his contemporaries was not solely his innate talent, but a remarkable basketball acumen that enabled him to understand the game at a level well above his years. By the time he reached 13, this remarkable young player had attracted the interest of Real Madrid, one of Europe's top basketball teams, which awarded him a 5-year contract. This initial signing would turn out to be one of the smartest decisions in the history of European basketball. Doncic swiftly climbed the ranks of Real Madrid's youth system, earning MVP honors in both under-16 and under-18 tournaments with a skill that masked his youth. The basketball community was observing a unique talent, a teenager exhibiting the composure and insight of an experienced pro. In 2015, at the tender age of 16, Doncic made headlines by playing for Real Madrid's senior squad, becoming the youngest player ever to wear their jersey in a professional match. His influence was immediate and clear-cut. In that same year, at just 17, he reached an extraordinary benchmark by representing Slovenia's senior national team, displaying his skills on the global stage against opponents often twice his age. The ensuing years witnessed Doncic's meteoric rise within European basketball. In 2017, he was instrumental in Slovenia's triumph at Eurobasket, securing a spot on the all-tournament roster and leading his country to its inaugural significant international title. The next year, he propelled Real Madrid to the EuroLeague championship, solidifying his reputation as Europe's most promising basketball talent even before he turned 20. By the time the 2018 NBA draft was on the horizon, Doncic had assembled a portfolio that would cause envy among seasoned professionals, all while still being a teenager amidst his remarkable achievements in Europe. While some NBA scouts expressed skepticism about his ability to adapt to the quicker, more athletic American style, these concerns inadvertently triggered one of the most fortunate draft day trades in recent history. Selected 3rd overall by the Atlanta Hawks in the 2018 NBA draft, Doncic was swiftly traded to the Dallas Mavericks, a team actively seeking its next franchise player in the wake of the Dirk Nowitzki era. The storyline was fitting, as a European talent was chosen to succeed one of the greatest European athletes in NBA history. Few could have anticipated how seamlessly this transition would occur, as Doncic quickly set out to prove his critics wrong. In his debut season with the Mavericks, he showcased brilliance, averaging 21.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 6.0 assists per game. Such outstanding statistics led to him being unanimously awarded the NBA's Rookie of the Year, firmly establishing him as a significant player in the league. What truly enthralled fans about Doncic's style wasn't solely his impressive numbers, but the finesse with which he executed his game. His signature step-back threes, no-look passes, and clutch moments quickly earned him admiration, not only in Dallas but throughout the basketball community. This was a talent who fused classic techniques with modern flair, turning the remarkable into the routine on a nightly basis. The subsequent years solidified Doncic's status as a true superstar. Throughout the next 6 seasons, he emerged as one of the top players in the league, securing 5 NBA All-Star nods from 2020 to 2024 and 5 All-NBA First-Team honors from 2019 to 2023. His statistical prowess was extraordinary, boasting career averages of 27.6 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 8.0 assists per game. These figures place him among the elite in basketball history. Beyond personal achievements, Doncic propelled the Mavericks to heights not seen since their championship run in 2011. In 2022, he guided the franchise to the Western Conference Finals, where they were defeated by the champion Golden State Warriors. This impressive playoff journey quelled doubts about Doncic's ability to be the focal point of a competitive team. The 2023-24 season witnessed Doncic ascend to new levels with the Mavericks. His collaboration with Kyrie Irving, acquired through a trade, flourished in one of the most powerful pairings in the league, driving Dallas to the NBA Finals. Although they were bested by the Boston Celtics, the outlook for Dallas radiated optimism. At only 25, Doncic is stepping into his prime, suggesting a bright future for the Mavericks. Yet, despite this promising facade, underlying worries were brewing within the franchise. These issues would culminate in one of the most astonishing trades ever seen in the NBA. The initial signs of discord began surfacing as far back as 2020 when Doncic openly acknowledged his less-than-ideal fitness. "I'm not in my best shape," he admitted at training camp, visibly weighing more than the official 218 pounds. What initially seemed like a temporary setback turned into a persistent trend during his time with the Mavericks. By 2021, these worries were glaringly obvious. In a game broadcasted nationwide, TNT's Reggie Miller candidly remarked on Doncic's physical state. He mentioned Luka struggling and noted he might be the heaviest he's ever been while playing. After a 3-week hiatus post-Olympics, Doncic admitted to the problem, recognizing it as his fitness became a focal point in the media. The Mavericks franchise was also acutely aware of these concerns. Sources suggest that team officials estimated Doncic's preferred playing weight to hover near 245 pounds. This figure was seen as pivotal for retaining his strength against lighter guards, while also ensuring he had the agility required to thrive in today's NBA. However, keeping this target weight became more difficult for the rising star. As the 2023-24 season unfolded, concerns escalated for Dallas. The Mavericks allegedly urged Doncic to trim down, with team leaders voicing apprehensions regarding both his physical condition and mental focus. The worries went deeper than just looks. They were closely linked to the risks of injury and performance during games. The 2024-25 season marked Doncic's final year with the Mavericks, plagued by injuries that many in the franchise linked to his conditioning problems. At this stage, reports indicated that his weight had surged into the high 260s, well above both his listed weight and the team's desired parameters. The effects were clear. Doncic faced several injuries, ranging from a sprained left knee and ankle troubles to thumb issues, with the most troubling being a calf strain. This particular injury became especially worrisome. He sustained the calf strain in December 2024 during a Christmas Day match against the Minnesota Timberwolves. As a result, he missed 19 games across 5 weeks, marking a notable gap for a player of his elite status. While such injuries are a common aspect of professional athletics, the Mavericks management reportedly found this trend alarming, particularly in light of Doncic's youth and the financial stakes tied to his future with the franchise. The financial implications were immense, as Doncic neared the chance for a 5-year Supermax deal exceeding $345 million. The Mavericks found themselves at a critical crossroads. Should they pledge an extraordinary amount to a player whose fitness and injury history sparked concerns over his ability to remain effective long-term? Or should they opt for the hard decision to part ways with a once-in-a-lifetime talent poised to be the franchise's emblem? By the end of January 2025, the strain between Doncic and the Mavericks had intensified dramatically. As the trade deadline loomed, speculation began to circulate about possible transactions. Yet, few anticipated the monumental change that would soon reshape the NBA. On February 1st, 2025, the basketball community paused as news emerged of an extraordinary 3-team deal. The Dallas Mavericks consented to trade Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Marcus Morris to the Los Angeles Lakers, receiving Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a future first-round pick in 2029 in return, while the Utah Jazz entered the mix, acquiring Jalen Hood-Schifino alongside 2 second-round selections. This monumental trade reverberated throughout the sports universe. How could the Mavericks let go of a 25-year-old star who had propelled them to an NBA Finals just months prior? What drove them to make such a noteworthy choice? And how would this stunning decision alter the NBA landscape for years ahead? The contentious trade and its fallout. When the news of the Luka Doncic trade surfaced on February 1st, 2025, it triggered disbelief throughout the basketball community. Fans, analysts, and players alike struggled to fathom how the Dallas Mavericks could sever ties with a generational talent who, at merely 25, had solidified his status as one of the league's elite. Doncic was far from a typical star player. Before the trade in the 2024-25 season, he was notching an average of 28.1 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 7.8 assists per game. These figures weren't merely stunning, they were record-breaking. Notably, his career scoring average of 28.6 points per game at the moment of the trade stood as the highest for a player exchanged since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in 1975. So what compelled the Mavericks to pursue such a game-changing move? The official statement was delivered by General Manager Nico Harrison, who underscored a change in the team's approach. "A solid defense is the foundation of championship success," Harrison commented during the press briefing tied to the trade. He pointed out Anthony Davis's defensive skills, indicating that the ex-Lakers standout was a better fit for the team's aspirations, both now and ahead. However, this rationale was met with doubt from various sectors of the basketball community. The idea that a team would swap a 25-year-old MVP contender mainly for defense appeared lacking, especially since Doncic's exceptional offensive talent had previously led the Mavericks to the NBA Finals. However, a more intricate situation unfolded behind the scenes. ESPN's Tim McMahon reported that the Mavericks harbored significant fears about continuing with Doncic due to his ongoing health issues. These concerns were intensified by the impending financial obligation of a 5-year Supermax contract extension exceeding $345 million, with Doncic's existing deal lasting until 2026 to 27, which includes a player option. Dallas was faced with the dilemma of either committing a staggering amount of money or risking his exit through free agency. The worries surrounding his conditioning were significant and thoroughly recorded. By the beginning of 2025, sources revealed that Doncic's weight had climbed into the upper 260s, markedly exceeding his stated 230 pounds and the team's ideal playing weight of 245. This went beyond a superficial concern. It directly impacted his availability and on-field effectiveness. A telling moment arose in November 2024 when Doncic was sidelined for games, officially citing a sprained right wrist. Yet, insiders associated with the team revealed that this hiatus served to tackle conditioning matters as well. This provided him an opportunity to concentrate on shedding pounds without media scrutiny. This recurring use of injury labels as a guise for fitness improvement hinted at a more significant concern regarding the dynamics between the franchise and their key athlete. The struggles with weight seemed to play a role in Doncic's injury record. The calf strain that kept him out for 19 games during the 2024-25 season raised alarms among team officials, who allegedly linked it to his broader physical state. As the seasons progressed, the issues surrounding injuries and fitness became increasingly evident, signaling concerns about his longevity in the game. Additionally, there were whispers of friction related to Doncic's lifestyle off the court. In 2024, he was seen enjoying a recovery beer following a victory in the Western Conference Finals, an event that highlighted his off-court behavior and reportedly created tension with team leadership. Although these events may appear trivial on their own, they added fuel to the ongoing discussion regarding Doncic's commitment to training and professionalism. The debate about whether these worries warrant trading away a once-in-a-generation player continues to spark intense conversation. Critics emphasize that Doncic's exceptional talent on the court always overshadowed any concerns regarding his conditioning. During his tenure with Dallas, he consistently showcased MVP-caliber performances irrespective of his fluctuating weight. Many viewed the choice to focus on physical condition over tangible results as misguided. Upon joining the Los Angeles Lakers on February 4, 2025, Doncic confronted the ongoing discourse regarding his fitness. It's not accurate, but there is an agenda behind it. He indicated that the Mavericks might have leveraged conditioning as an excuse to rationalize the trade. Expressing disbelief over the decision, he mentioned discovering it late at night and initially assuming it was a prank. Former teammates quickly rallied to support Doncic, with Mark F. Morris traded to the Lakers, contending that Doncic's capacity to achieve triple-doubles, despite alleged weight issues, countered the conditioning assertions. Quentin Grimes, another ex-Maverick, labeled the conditioning story as absurd, denouncing it as a smear effort filled with baseless allegations regarding Doncic's way of life. The basketball media's response was immediate and predominantly negative towards the Mavericks' choice. ESPN's Kevin Pelton rated the team an F, stating that trading a 25-year-old star for a 32-year-old Davis was unjustifiable despite any fitness issues. SB Nation's Ricky O'Donnell assigned a D+ grade, while the UK publication, The Mirror, labeled it the most atrocious trade in NBA history. Bill Simmons from The Ringer was blunt, branding it the most harmful, indefensible transaction in recent times. He forecasted lasting disappointment from Maverick supporters, likening the move unfavorably to other contentious trades in sports history. Even Reggie Miller, who had earlier criticized Doncic's fitness, condemned the rumors of character flaws as a smear campaign, questioning their origins over time. Yet perhaps the most emotional response came from Mavericks fans directly. The trade sparked considerable protests, with fans assembling outside the American Airlines Center to voice their anger. Some even fashioned a makeshift shrine near the Dirk Nowitzki statue, symbolically linking Doncic's departure to the heritage of the franchise's all-time great. The discontent was not confined to the trade alone, but also targeted the Mavericks' upper management. Supporters rallied with chants of Fear Nico during matches, aimed at general manager Nico Harrison, while displaying banners proclaiming phrases like Nico sucks. These actions not only showcased frustration, but also a profound sense of betrayal, as fans felt the organization chose questionable short-term gains over a promising future. As the Mavericks dealt with the repercussions of their choices, the Los Angeles Lakers reveled in what they considered a masterstroke. The combination of Doncic and LeBron James formed a fearsome pair, significantly boosting the Lakers' championship hopes. This move held particular weight given LeBron's 40 years. Nearing the end of his career, the addition of a 25-year-old star provided the team with a pathway to the future. The initial outcomes in Los Angeles were encouraging. Doncic swiftly acclimated to his new environment, sustaining his high-level performance while developing rapport with his teammates. By April 2025, he was posting averages of 29.9 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 7.0 assists across his past 10 games with the Lakers, proving that his dominance persisted despite the change in location. Reactions on social media highlighted a more svelte look for Doncic alongside Lakers practice videos, although these remarks were more subjective than based on factual evidence. His official weight was still recorded at 230 pounds on NBA.com, implying that any prior concerns about weight gain might have been resolved, although some analysts question the accuracy of this listing. On April 9, 2025, an incredibly poignant scene unfolded as Doncic returned to Dallas for the first time wearing a Lakers jersey. The Mavericks organization honored him with a heartfelt tribute video that moved him to tears. Regardless of how he left, the Dallas fans welcomed him with open arms, chanting his name throughout the match, celebrating his legacy beyond the contentious trade. The game showcased the Mavericks' loss, with Doncic delivering a phenomenal performance, racking up 45 points, alongside 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals in a commanding 112-97 triumph for the Lakers. His display acted as a testament to his remarkable abilities and potentially a message to the team that had labeled him as surplus. As the regular season of 2024-25 approached its conclusion, both franchises occupied unexpectedly distinct standings. Thanks to Doncic's outstanding performance, the Lakers clinched the 3rd seed in the Western Conference, establishing themselves as credible candidates for the championship. In contrast, the Mavericks encountered inconsistent outcomes with Anthony Davis, who delivered the defensive boost they desired but struggled to mirror Doncic's offensive brilliance. The groundwork was laid for a captivating playoff scenario. The Lakers were set to meet the Minnesota Timberwolves, the 6th seeds, in the opening playoff round, with the first game slated for April 19, 2025. Yet, an unforeseen complication surfaced, intensifying the Doncic saga. Injury worries rekindled doubts about his health and reliability. On April 13, 2025, Doncic sat out the Lakers' final regular season match against the Portland Trail Blazers due to discomfort in his left quadriceps. Although the team called it a precaution, their playoff berth was already secured, leading to concerns over his readiness for the imminent postseason. This latest injury raises valid concern for the Mavericks regarding his long-term viability. Will Doncic bounce back from this hurdle to guide his new squad on a serious playoff journey, underscoring the short-sightedness of Dallas's choice, given the prominent NBA figures who grappled with weight challenges? Throughout NBA history, numerous stars have had their careers impacted or even cut short by issues linked to their weight. Let's examine 5 critical cases that shed light on Luka's predicament. Shaquille O'Neal stands out as one of the most notable instances of an NBA icon whose size served as both an advantage and a disadvantage. Standing at 7 feet 1 inch, O'Neal was officially listed at 325 pounds. However, during the Lakers championship run, reports indicated he swelled to an incredible 415 pounds. Unlike Doncic, Shaq's role as a powerhouse center meant that his extra mass could provide an advantage when overpowering rivals in the paint. Nevertheless, even for Shaq, the extra weight affected his agility and heightened the risk of injury, particularly in his later playing days. Phil Jackson, his coach at the Lakers, often voiced his frustration regarding Shaq's fitness, which created some friction within the squad. Reflecting on his early career, what was your weight when you first joined Orlando? I weighed 285 pounds. They initiated a hacker's den with me at the start, leading me to begin my search with 300, and by 315, Phil Jackson arrived with the initial challenge. She was at 345, and I really enjoyed my return at 385 for round 2. The championship lift was set at 415. Then, when Pat Riley revved me up, I was doing army drills, and I managed to drop down to 325. Amazing. Indeed, it was. While he was with the Miami Heat, the franchise even set up financial penalties, resulting in Shaq being fined $1,000 for failing to comply with body fat standards. Nonetheless, his immense skill enabled him to grab 4 NBA titles, establishing him as one of the most formidable centers in history. However, numerous analysts argue that with improved fitness, his career could have reached even greater heights. A player with similar early career weight challenges akin to Doncic's predicament is Charles Barkley. Known as the round mound of rebound, Barkley had an official weight of 252 pounds, yet often looked much heftier, especially in the early days of his career. He encountered ongoing scrutiny regarding his endurance, with many wondering if he could sustain his performance during games. Ring any bells, Luka supporters? However, Barkley's journey brings inspiration. Upon joining the Phoenix Suns in 1992, he dedicated himself to shedding weight to roughly 250 pounds. As a result, Barkley captured the MVP award that year and guided the Suns to the NBA championship. While both Shaq and Barkley enjoyed illustrious Hall of Fame careers despite fluctuations in their weight, Eddie Curry serves as a stark reminder of unrealized potential. Standing at 7 feet, Curry possessed exceptional talent, but reportedly ballooned to 400 pounds at one stage, faced with conditioning struggles exacerbated by health issues, including an irregular heartbeat. His excessive weight severely hampered his agility and endurance, resulting in diminished playing time and frustration from coaches such as Mike D'Antoni. What began as a career filled with promise concluded with Curry benched and seeing limited action before he hung up his sneakers at the young age of 29. Curry's experience exemplifies the dire outcome for someone like Doncic if he doesn't manage his weight, despite his extraordinary skills. Similarly, there's Zion Williamson, whose journey highlights the perils of weight struggles. Officially at 284 pounds, he's allegedly been nearer to 300 at times, with his weight often connected to his various injuries. These injury setbacks, particularly involving his knees and feet, have restricted Zion to only 205 games over his initial 5 seasons, causing frustration for the Pelicans and sparking constant trade speculation. But there's a silver lining. Zion has reportedly slimmed down to approximately 260 pounds for the 2023-24 season, allowing him to participate in a career-high 70 games. It seems that public scrutiny, even from Charles Barkley, has spurred him to tackle these issues head-on. Before the emergence of stars like Luka and Zion, there was Bryant "Big Country" Reeves, whose bright future faded rapidly due to weight issues. Initially, Reeves showed great potential with the Vancouver Grizzlies, averaging 16.2 points per game during the 1996-97 season. However, after the lockout in 1998-99, he struggled with significant weight gain, fluctuating between 275 and 300 pounds, which took a toll on his fitness. The increase in weight led to serious back issues, compelling Reeves to hang up his boots in 2001 at the young age of 28. His journey, captured in Finding Big Country, highlights how quickly minor weight troubles can escalate into career-ending dilemmas. Luka Doncic is among numerous talented players whose careers have been marred by weight challenges, leading some supporters to speculate he might be reaching a critical juncture in his career. Nonetheless, there's a glimmer of hope. Recent updates indicate that Doncic has shed a considerable amount of weight since becoming a Laker, now weighing in the 240s. Observers on social media have commented on his leaner look since his move to Los Angeles, indicating he might be making efforts to tackle prior issues. Examining the historical trends, there are 3 directions Doncic's career might head from this point. Should Doncic keep up with his recent weight reduction and focus on fitness, he could mirror Charles Barkley's journey, surpassing initial weight challenges to unlock his true capabilities. Barkley's MVP-winning year post-weight loss showcases the significant impact that effective training can have. On the other hand, Doncic might carve out a prosperous yet somewhat marred career akin to Shaquille O'Neal's, reaching high levels of success while facing ongoing doubts about what might have been with superior fitness. O'Neal's titles illustrate how remarkable ability can occasionally overshadow fitness challenges. A troubling prospect is mirroring the trajectories of Bryant Reeves or Eddie Curry, where weight struggles escalate over the years, resulting in injuries, diminished performance, and possibly an earlier than expected end to a career.